Hello students, this video is for how to modeling G102, mainly using the Loft. And I think I also tried, and as you can see, there's a very tons of different sketches that you need to do. And this is hard process, so I hope you follow one by one steps. Okay, let's start with. And the main thing we're gonna do first is we're gonna insert with from the side view and the top view, which is the main object that we're gonna using for these cases. So first, let's put our mouse in the side views with the ratio of the tree. Actually, the ratio doesn't matter. Just follow the preferred ratio you want. And from here, and then let's de create the side view, drawing the side view shapes of it. Okay, like this. Okay, like this. And one of the important thing here is first you need to draw the longest line for this contour outline. So you need to draw a cross outline. And also you need to draw some areas for this mouse. Uh, And the important thing is you need to draw, and this is like how we divide it into. So these lines will be become another new planes. This will be for the top views. And this two plane will be for the cutting lane, like for the drawing the section views of this mouse. And the important stuff is when you draw the section uh lines in here, you don't oversee it when you go across over the drawing. You must draw from to the end because otherwise you can't use the follow along the guide rails in the fusion system. So make sure to draw this cross line, not over it, but touch the end, each edge point of the drawing. That is really important. And the second, let's place this and using a plane at the angle to create top view plane. And from here, let's redraw the sketches and using a project tool to get this over outer lines of the sketches. So when you see from the top view, you can see this is the match meeting midpoint, and this is the maximum, how it will goes. And finish the sketch. And before we start, and since we have like a top view plane, and we're gonna insert top view, this mouse on the surface plane that we're gonna create for the top view, rotating 90 degrees. And the important thing is that you need to, since we don't use very exact size of it, so the size should be just like a roughly match should be fine. And how to or realize sizes from here, since we draw over contour outlines of it, right? So this is the overall drawings. So from here to the end is where our mouse will be. So try to match our canvas of the top view size with end to the end. This is a little smaller, so I'll make a little bit bigger like this. All right, try to match the mouse from the end to the end and try to place in the roughly the center because this is like symmetry from the side. And what important thing we're gonna do is when we and let's from here, please follow carefully first. Turn off once you using project tool and double click the sketches. I think yeah, I think my order is wrong. So first, make sure to place your top view canvas first, and then draw a sketch on top of this construction plane, not the top view, not the top view already existed, not the top view, but make sure to select the plane that we choose, which is like a little above from the ground. Make sure to select the right plane. And from there, you need to project this contour outline, like from this line, not selecting the overall line, but make sure to select the across the section line here and press OK. And what it helps is when please turn off the sketches. And our purpose will be while we draw the contour line shapes of the sketches, make sure that it's match, follow along this top side like a match because this is although we're using the top view, but actual where section view is not exactly from here to here. We actually make trying to make in the here. And when we turn on the maybe I'll turn off. So like this is what we're gonna do. Like make sure that our top view drawing will be on top of the section view drawing because like if without this project line, let's say if we just draw randomly, not randomly, but just try to follow the photos itself, then there's a possibilities that we won't draw on top. Let's say like if we follow like here and try to match the shape itself. And what problem can might occur is from here, from the side views, from this kind of angle, then as you can see here, this surface will not match mid with the section view. This is not something happens. So that is why, since we are using the plane on top of this horizontal line, make sure to using a project tool first to get the exact position, which is from the start to the end, meeting point from the side view drawings. And since we are going to using the symmetry, because like we're going to using the mirror, so make sure that when you draw this line, make sure to this control point should be horizontal, and this end point also should be horizontal. And from there, I'll just a little bit adjust the shape like this. It doesn't have to be matched because in this session will be not the end point, but we little have little some spaces here. So like this and press OK. So for now, we are success to draw the main two important drawings from the side views and the top view guidelines. And from here, we are gonna draw the two section shape, which will be see from the front. So first, let's import the canvas, which is the either you can use the back or the front, but I'll prefer to use the front view. And this time I'm gonna using place on the front line here. And again, like a plate, make sure to place on the center. And when you see this is the front, and when you see from the front view, like this should be matched on the highest point from the drawings, which will be this line. So make like a roughly adjust the size to match the highest point and to the lowest point, which will be here. So like I'll just try to match roughly like this. Okay. And press OK. And the reason why I'm not going to sketch in here is because I want to sketch on like this side and this direction. The distance is not like a proper, but try to just divide into the 1/3 of each element or some position that you think are more important. Because normally this kind of complicate shape, more closure, like around closure will helps to making a better shapes. And from this kind of smooth curvature will be relatively easy to create without any errors. So that is why I distribute these two sections and these distances. And from here, using a plane at angles to create both plane here, this section and this section as well. And to avoid confusion, I will turn off the top view. And let's start with sketch from the highest point here. Let's start from here and turn off the other one. And the thing we need to project will be like this line because we are drawing on top of this plane, right? So make sure to project this line. And again, like make sure that the contour shape drawing should follow like starting from here and should end at here, this point. So this is very important. And also, since I want to make a symmetry, so make sure this one part will be symmetric and roughly match the shape of this contour line. Oh, sorry, I forgot to do extra stuff on the top view plane. It's because since I will show you from here, like since the drawing, when you draw this section line, and make sure that this line should also match with the top view, like this side top view section drawing as well. And to do so, go back to the top view plane and using a project tool, because we know there's two position, right? To draw the line, to get the line where it starts, and from there, draw the perpendicular line until it match. And again, here, the important stuff is you need to draw not over it and make sure these lines are perpendicular to each other. And the important stuff is like you shouldn't draw like over. Make sure and match exactly on the same, on top of the section sideline views. And let's go back to sketch 5. And again, using a project tool, make sure to click this line because we were drawing a sketch on this line in here, not this line. So make sure to select the right lines in here. And when we're drawing this, again, this, our contour line should on top, should meet with this line in here. So to do so, using a coincidence to select this line and this end point here. Make sure that they're or I would redraw it from here. So from here, like the important part is that when it should follow this line, the side views, and here. And again, like this line also. So when we see them from the top, make sure that this section will follow the top line drawing and also came across these side lines and also end with the bottom lines the behind. So this is very complicated, but I hope that you're following well and make sure to match your drawing should be like horizontal, right? It doesn't have to be very precise because like anyway, this is not the full shape, but only part of this line. So like, and again, like this is not very like a precise drawings, like technical drawing. So you can be make a little bit. It doesn't have to be very precise. Anyway, the ratio I think is not very perfectly matched. So it is fine. I'll draw like this. Finish the sketch. Now from here again, like we're gonna redraw on like for this time we'll in the front sketches. And from here, also using a project tool to get the front tool line, top and the bottom, and also again select the right line here to get the top and the side guide points. I'll turn off the sketches. So from here, make sure that our sketch follow along this line, and the top view should follow like here and here as well. And again, you'll make sure this will be horizontal like this. And I will turn off the sketches. So when we turn on the sketches, now as you can see, we are successfully to create starting from the side view drawings and draw the section lines which come across the drawing for the top view. And when we see from the top view, we also successfully to draw the top shape of our mouse. And after we successfully to draw the side and the top sketches, and from there you need to draw the guidelines to draw the section shape. And the important part is this section shape must touch the guide rails from the side and the top as well. To do so, make sure when you draw the perfect vertical lines in here, you need to match on top of this line. Please do not draw on over it. Make sure to match on the top of this two guide rail surface. Once you successfully finish here and you are all set, you're good to go to making a drawing. You're good to go for using a loft. And from here, from the loft is, as I said, loft is basically automatically connecting two different planes, faces. In this case, we are mainly using the side views and the top views here, like this two views. And when we just like select like this, then the loft automatically connect this two face into the shortest distance. However, since we want to follow these lines in here, to do so, you need to set that these two lines are the guide rail. So guide like to be rails and add and make sure to unlock the chain selection and select this line and this line. And from there, as you can see, it automatically follows these two lines as guide rails and here and press OK. And make sure to turn on the sketches again and redoing the loft for the front view. Again, using this line for the guide rail. And to do so for the behind as well from side, top, and using this line for the guide rails. Press join. So now we're successfully to making a smooth line from the half top. And from here, let's make the bottom again. And from here, I recommend you start with pressing the side and pressing the top. And again, the guide rail for this and this. Oh, I see. I think we have the issue was the side sketches. One tip is like from when we make these sharp edges, that doesn't work on the loft. So after you draw these sharp edges, make sure to using a fillet for a tiny bit to make sure that it works. I didn't know. It depends on the program, but this Fusion doesn't allow that. Okay. Like this. So make sure that your everything is in the smooth, not having a sharp section. And then using the loft, first select the side and select the top. And again, doing the rail. Select this rail for it. And it automatically created. And the important part thing here, one tip is this is all one smooth surface, right? And the important thing and what the difference is like connect means it's just they're connected. However, the direction means it will match the tangent plane of the touching profile. So in this our case is profile one is here and the profile two is on the top one. So since this is all one single pieces, I want to convert the top profile tool, which is this top view, and make sure the direction. Select the direction. So make sure that this face and the new creative faces are smoothly connecting each other in the tangent directions. So we make sure that they are too smoothly connected. Okay, and from here again using Loft to select the side and the top and select the guide ray. I think from here you can use also the change selection for here and the behind. And again, since we select the profile tool on the top to make sure that it's also in direction, make sure it's smoothly connected. And finally, select the loft for the side top, rails, and it's smoothly connected. Press OK. Okay, so this is how we successfully create the surface. And I think like from here, like this end part is a little too sharp, maybe because of this etching point here. Maybe in this cases, may I will change this etching point more like two, like a more bigger. So it has relatively more smoother connection. Or maybe we could change to the more, I think we could change to this direction to the more front. Maybe that could help better, like a little bit more to this side. Yeah, like this. Sometimes it create like this and or the main problem should be because of here maybe because this lines are too sharp. So maybe I'll convert into to a much more smoother surface. hmm Mm. So this is some kind of experiences like you have to make, learn by yourself and try to make an error. It doesn't very because okay. Maybe I'll change a different approaches. Like from here, I'm not gonna using like a fillet for here. I'm not gonna use a fillet for here. I'll erase this part. But when I draw, I will just make sure that I will continuously draw. And from here, make sure that I make a tangent for here and perpendicular for horizontal for here and try to match the shape, drawing to relatively more smoother like this. And I'll restart. Okay, I'll check the loft first and then let's see how it works on the bottom. So first here, select the side, top, and select this guide rail. Click OK, and yeah, I think this is much more smoother than the before. So I'll change the tactic to when we draw the side view to not using the fillet. But when you're drawing, actually make sure that like when you're using a spline tool, and when you're using a spline tool, using a tangent to make sure that this and that this line are continuous and can have the same curvature like this. Okay. Okay, then let's keep continue the loft. Make sure to select the proper one. I think like once you are successfully to manage to create the sketches, then using a loft will be no problems. Like the more important part in this project is like to draw the sketches from the side, draw the guideline from the horizontal and to section views, and from there carefully to successfully to draw the top and the side section view. That is the most important part in this project. Again, select the joint direction for the profile, loft. Lastly will be this here, the direction. Okay, press OK. Right, so this is how we successfully create the first half of it. And from here, when we see the mouse, and I'll turn off the sketch for now. When we see it, we have and we know that this, we have click will be the empty hollow point, right? On the top will be, with this part will be the empty, and which have more parts, which is also solid. And to differentiate that part first, I'm gonna using a shell first before I mirror it. First, I'm gonna using a shell tool to empty the inside like this. Maybe this, yeah, and like make sure and since this is very sharp, so I think like when you're doing the sharp style, it won't work. So if that doesn't work, then click for the round shell in here and click OK. From here, same process will happen. First, let's go to the top view. And from here, we will draw the sketches to making a hole for this lines in here. So I'm gonna draw like from this line will be guide because we're using the half center. And we therefore we need to create some creating empty holes, making holes for here and for this side view, sidelines here as well. So from here, we're gonna making a hole for it. Make sure that these two are tangent. So we draw the one half and then draw another small thin guidelines up to the end. And the thin lining here. And I also leave this empty line, half line for the holes in here. And maybe for that in the center one, I'll using a slot for it. Like this, roughly. Yes. And from here, then turn off the unneat. And from here first, remember that like this is one single piece, right? But if we just using a simple cut for this whole part and using extrude to cut it, then it will make you a cut like here successfully. However, then we can't make exactly match the surface, right? Because this button will be follow along this surface with a little gap in here, right? So before we cut it, make sure to copy one stuff and turn off one. And from there, like first for the first one, let's using a cut for a full cut to make a full cut here, right? And turn, now we're successfully have one and turn off in. And for the second one, in this cases, we're going to using an insert, only the areas that we need. And from here, we're gonna not gonna use the cut, but making to the intersect. And what it does is like it will only leave the areas that will intersect each other will be remain. So now in when you see it in we have in total like this. And the reason why I do that is because like as you can see it's different material, right? So try to differentiate this from material. So I leave like body like this. And from this is not end because when we see from the front, that also has this like a guideline mark here, right? And for that, let's create another drawing. Maybe you use more closer one for convenience. From here, let's draw the sketches using draw the center line, draw the center line, and from there, maybe I'll turn off the body for now. And from here, we can see these thin lines in here, right? The thin line. So I'll try to make a cut for here and also for here. This. And make sure to close the end. Make sure to close the end, finish the sketch. And first, let's cut only the this area, like this area. Let's cut it. And from here, we are going to using a two side because like if you cut it only from the front, but we know that if we see from the top, it will leave this line until to the end, right? So using a side for the two side cut to make sure they cut until to the end, like this. Maybe a little bit more. Here, cut full length here. And then from the back, we're gonna cut until to the, let me see from the top, not over it because we're gonna cut until to around here, right? So yeah, around here. Okay, like this. So now we are successfully divide this one, and we keep remaining the front green one and the second top one from here, and maybe we can create also another the slot buttons. And also from here, then let's go to the side views. And from the side views, we can see the rows in here, right? So draw the side views. And we all know that this field is like a circle. So like try to match the size of it like here. Finish the sketch and using extrude tool from the top view. to match the thickness until the half. Press OK for a new body. Oh, and the another tip here is like for we can making this like a friction. So I'll just making a one small like a pattern for it and using an extrude tool to using a join. And from here we're gonna using a pattern. From here, like circular pattern, and make sure to convert into the, not the bodies, but the feature. And what the feature does, it will repeat the patterns of the tools. So in this case, we just extrude it, right? So feature select, if we select the extrude on the beneath, then we're gonna pattern, like mimic this pattern. And this is we're only using a circular one, so select the axis to the center. And as you can see here, what it does is like a extrude pattern will be duplicated follow along the cylinder with 80 numbers of it. You can change it more higher to make it more close or like less or make it more less. So like this is how we create a pattern for the friction. And lastly, let's go back to this top sketches. And I'll recreate another slot for internal smaller one for the internal parts and using extrude tool. And normally the buttons are just like a solid, so I'll just create one fast. And from here, I'll just a little bit rotating and move up of it like this. Or if you want, then we can also match the angles of it. And using a fillet, we're finishing. And let's turn off the sketches for this confusion. Okay, so now this is how we successfully create the mouse, Logitech G1. And after that, using a mirror for this bodice, select this plane or and join it. Then now you'll successfully have main body, main selection, wheels, and the mouse for it. Oh, maybe this is not fully disconnected, then using extrude tool for full cut. And now we are success to have full shapes of the G1 Logitech mouse. And I think this is very like a long, kind of very confusing sometimes work. But the important thing here is like try to not to forgive at the stage of the sketches. I think like once you're successfully able to create like the sketches, like from the drawing from the side, draw the horizontal line from the end to the end, and wisely choose the vertical lines. Read also end to the end, then start drawing from the top view. And once you successfully to draw the top view, then matching, try to draw the section shape of 2 point, and from there using a loft to create overall shape and using a shell tool to make the other parts. Okay, thank you for listening. And if students want to using the loft, then if you're allowed to modeling these levels, then you will be, I'm sure you're gonna modeling almost everything in your daily life. Thank you for listening.